Okay, what is the key to closing deals for a colocation data center that's struggling with commoditization, that's struggling with finding the right segments? What's the key to closing more deals? Well, the first thing to recognize is that colocation, because just like your company that has multi-year engagements, multi-year agreements, a lot of the prospects and clients that you're talking to may also be bound by multi-year contracts, multi-year engagements that they're trying to get out of. So unless you have the resources, the capital to literally be able to partially or fully buy them out, that's just a longer sales cycle. But assuming that you have a pipeline of deals where they're coming to the last 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months of their colocation with another colocation provider, then the key to closing deals is everything that we have talked about earlier today. It's showing up not as a salesperson that's trying to close a deal or someone focused on quota, commission, getting it to closed won WON status. It's focused on solving a business problem and solving a technology problem for your clients. And what this comes down to is you need to invest a fair amount of time getting educated about the biggest business challenges and technology challenges that most of your clients and prospects have that cause them to become colocation clients in the first place. This is, again, your basic 101 basic buyer persona 101 research. And from there, you're building out these great educational resources so they can self-educate and carry them through the buyer's journey. You're putting together these amazing educational event experiences where they're going to get to know your client-facing team as humans, and they'll build up the know, like, and trust, where you can educate and build trust with those prospects and clients at scale. And those events experiences and those premium content resources can do wonders to get your expertise circulating among the full decision committee in those companies. And that's usually the key to making a lot of this work, is truly understanding all of the different stakeholders that are involved in their decision about co-location, which in many cases is going to be a multi-year time commitment. It's understanding who the different stakeholders are and having content and events and resources that are especially helpful for each of those different kinds of people. So there is spending a huge amount of those 28 touch points with members of your team. What I see a lot of co-location operators doing that causes me to kind of shake my head and wonder if if they've taken the Back to the Future DeLorean and are selling to people living in a different time and place, is I still see co-location operators spending a huge percentage of their marketing and sales budget on an annual basis on big conferences. And there's nothing inherently wrong with sponsoring a major golf tournament or having a great cabana party. However, each of those touch points, each of those events only counts as one of the 28 touch points. That means that if you spend 80% of your annual budget on these two events, you need to somehow figure out a way to get into as many of those other 26 touch points as possible over the next several weeks or next several months. Otherwise, there's a really good chance that you're going to lose that prospect or client to a competitor who's showing up where you're not. Let that sink in for a moment. A really good analogy for those of you that are big sports fans, and it doesn't matter whether you're a football fan, or soccer fan, or a basketball fan, or a baseball fan. Think of yourself as a general manager of a sports team, and the owner of the professional sports team gives you a certain budget. And sure, everyone would love to have the superstar. But the problem is with signing the superstar to your team, that one player, that one professional athlete may be consuming more than 50% of your budget. So I'm a big baseball fan. I'll use that as the analogy. So on a typical Major League Baseball roster, it used to be 25. Now there's 26 players. So if 50% of your payroll goes to one particular athlete, you have to spread the other 50% of that payroll among 25 other people. And depending on they made a movie about this 20 years ago called Moneyball, based on a book by Michael Lewis. If you've never seen it, it's a really great movie, especially if you like to use sports analogies to explain how you approach data center, go to market, digital infrastructure, go to market. But at the end of the day, when it comes to your investments in field marketing and conferences and events and talents, you need to think through all of the gaps that you have to fill. And you need to make sure that you're able to spread it around. It's kind of similar to like what an investment manager would do with diversifying a portfolio or something like that. But in this particular case, if you're spending a huge amount of your growth budget on one or two huge events, make sure that you have enough to still do everything that we've talked about today, doing the customer insight research, having great downloadable premium content, podcasts, live streams, webinars, breakfast seminars, lunch and learns. You need a way to stay with your prospects throughout the full buyer's journey. You need a way to get the whole decision committee to be spending time with you so you can educate and build trust across the entire team, not just one individual person. I think that is the biggest key to being able to close deals.
The data center go-to-market